Hello and welcome back to the XRP Insider News, where we bring you the most up-to-date and exciting XRP news. We're distributing 10,000 XRP. To be eligible, all you have to do is upvote, subscribe, comment. XRP is the king who watched the video till the finish. The winners will be chosen next month and announced on the channel's community page. Stuart Alder presents the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission with one of the industry's most major tests and one of the most arduous battles against crypto regulation, even as FTX's failure has an impact on digital asset trading. The 63-year-old Ripple Labs Incorporated Chief Legal Officer of Payments has spent the majority of his career working for established financial players. He is currently entangled in legal processes as well as a contentious public relations battle with the SEC and its president, Gary Gensler. The Ripple case is a crucial topic in the growing debate over reigning in an industry that has been compared to the Wild West. It may soon enter a new stage. The SEC and Ripple are locked in a court battle, with each demanding that the matter is settled in their favor. A federal judge is looking into the situation. Ripple claims to have hired a team of prominent outside attorneys from the Obama administration, including former SEC Chair Mary Jo White and her deputy Andrew Serration, to fight the lawsuit and protect the whole cryptocurrency business from what it calls SEC overregulation. Meanwhile, due to the well-known FTX problem, the digital asset markets have been facing a crypto winter this year. Tibor Nagy, a New York-based attorney who has represented Bitcoin clients, stated that the SEC is striving to protect investors. He stated that the SEC is expecting a definitive judgment on whether crypto assets are securities or not in the case against Ripple, which is being widely monitored. According to the SEC, San Francisco-based Ripple CEO Brad Garlinghouse and co-founder Christian Larson misled investors by neglecting to register Ripple's XRP, one of the 10 crypto tokens. The SEC's case, filed in December 2020, claims that Ripple raised more than $1.3 billion through an unregistered token offering. According to the company, because XRP is not an investment contract, it is not overseen by any regulatory authority. The SEC believes its approach to crypto regulation is reasonable, and Ripple contends that allowing it to regulate tokens as securities open the door to regulating other assets such as cars, diamonds, and soybeans as securities. The government announced on November 15, just days after FTX declared bankruptcy, that it had initiated 760 enforcement cases this year, resulting in a record $6.4 billion in fines and investor recovery that were 64% more than in 2021. The Blockchain Association has filed an amicus curiae brief. In a brief filed in response to the SEC complaint filed against Ripple, the association's legal team argued that downstream purchasers of cryptocurrencies and tokens do not always make investments in securities or enter into investment contracts. It is also fascinating that these petitioners do not question SEC's claim that Ripple initially sold XRP as an unregistered security. Instead, they maintain that there is a clear limit to applying applicable securities legislation to digital assets, as well as a limit to using the Howey test for coin and token releases due to their intrinsic need to quickly adapt to out-of-date regulations. The government was established in 1946. The following essay looks at some of the themes mentioned and how the court's verdict can aid XRP and the greater crypto market through regulatory clarity. The memoir highlights various variables that contribute to the difference between an AR's wide-ranging implications if it is established that XRP is not a security-favorable influence on crypto legislation, institutional adoption in general, and CAP altcoin pricing. In SEC v. Howey, the Supreme Court declared that an investment contract is defined as a contract transaction or scheme in which a person invests money in a joint enterprise but only reaps the benefits of the promoter's or a third party's efforts for securities legislation. Because an actual investment is required for an investment contract to be considered tangible, the Supreme Court's understanding of the phrase intangible assets cannot be taken literally. As a result, even if the court discovers that specific people purchased XRP with the intent to benefit, When considering the Howey test, the association respectfully requested that the court refrains from learning at all buyers in the XRP market anticipate benefiting. Many of the previous arguments advanced by proponents have focused on the decentralized nature of Bitcoin networks and their growth. These points properly point out that identifying a sponsor or third party is frequently more difficult than what is required in the exam. Furthermore, the aforementioned remarks compound these challenges for the SEC posture by decreasing expectations of returns from the experimental arm relative to those purchasing the asset downstream. Outside of the Bitcoin industry, lawyers generally agree with the points made in the Blockchain Consortium's amicus brief. According to a Forbes article titled Cryptocurrency Law, experts believe the SEC is poised to lose a crucial lawsuit and undermine Howey test. If the court approves the aforementioned documents, a regulatory review of the security definition for XRP and other similarly positioned coins and tokens, as well as the digital asset market selling them, will be provided. One outcome is that Ripple, which expressly stated its wish to settle, agrees to pay a significant punishment in exchange for certification that XRP is not a security. As a result, XRP is likely to be listed on cryptocurrency exchanges such as Coinbase. As a result, a successful case resolution may not constitute a selling event because other demand channels may emerge. Soon after the decision was made, Gary Gensler missed it yet again after the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission failed to warn investors about Terra and Celsius's collapse in the spring, which destroyed our trillion-dollar investor. Gensler's agency failed to warn investors about Terra and Celsius's demise, wiping out our investors. I'm alluding to this week's news that the $30 billion FTX empire is a shambles and that its golden boy creators Sam Bankman-Fried is the cryptocurrency equivalent of Elizabeth Holmes of Theranos. To be fair, Gensler wasn't the only one intrigued by SPF. The story that SPF, with its lovely Afro attitude and quirky stuff, was just what Bitcoin needed to overcome its bad reputation and appear in the traditional financial system captured the hearts of almost everyone, including me. The fiery Gensler must identify the criminal, but he also shows a willingness to endorse a legislative measure that would give SBF a legal advantage in the U.S. electronic money market. SPFX reportedly decided to take control of Block 5 this summer to profit from the alien crypto lender's new agreement with the SEC, which is extending the amnesty granted to Block 5 and FTX. The most recent collaboration between FTX and the stock exchange, which involves one of the well-known flashlights, will also help the SBS empire come under American control. This would give FTX control of the U.S. market as it seeks to pass legislation that might remove competitors such as Mance and the burgeoning DeFi sector. Gensler, Hillary Clinton's former director of campaign finance, is far from the only well-known Democrat eager to push on behalf of FTX. You may recall that SPF is one of Joe Biden's most generous donors and that both of his parents are Stanford law professors with political ties. His father, Joseph Banks, is a tax lawyer who works for Massachusetts Senator Elizabeth Warren, a Democrat, and his mother, Barbara Fried, is the founder of Mind the Gap, a group that helps the Democratic Party in Silicon Valley with fundraising. It is not a stretch to believe that SPF intended to benefit from his political ties. This is not to say that SPF is useless. Gensler and senior Democratic Party leaders have been meeting to create a specific proposal to give FTX control of the cryptocurrency industry. A lot of this smells like a weird conspiracy theory. However, skeptics should ask why he couldn't prevent FTX in the first place, and if anyone else's high positions played a role in his failure. When Gensler calls for more money and power to deal with the most recent crypto crisis, Gensler defended the SEC in a conversation with Washington Post journalists, stating that it had brought multiple enforcement actions focused on those with broader implications and across exchanges were unregulated. He stated that he couldn't be more proud of our organization. According to Cornerstone Research, the SEC sued unlisted currencies 44 times between 2013 and 2021. These lawsuits affect fewer than 1% of unlisted currencies. According to Gensler, tracking trades takes time, and complex investigations can take nearly 2 years. He claimed that if the SEC prevailed, more customers would be placed in such positions. You can get the highest level of investor protection. They've been heavily involved in crypto firms, some of which Gensler described as well-resourced and deeply legitimate, and have waged lengthy and difficult legal battles to oppose or at least postpone SEC prosecution,